Hi, I'm Cindy Mattalucci, and you're watching The Pulse, where we get the 411 on all the latest and greatest things to do in this amazing city, San Diego.
Hi, my name is Will Hooley, a professional rugby player here in San Diego for the San Diego Legion, and I will be co-hosting today here on The Pulse.
So come with us
as we put our finger on the pulse of San Diego.
This episode of The Pulse was brought to you by Windus Fernandez Brinkkord from Trilogy Financial. For all your financial needs, Windus and her team have got you covered. On today's episode, we start our segment in studio with Will, talking about San Diego Legion and the new season, which kicks off February 18th.
Next, we're on location at the WNDER Museum in the Gaslamp area.
Hey everybody, I'm Cindy Mattalucci, your host of The Pulse. And live with Cindy, we're so excited to be with you today for our new season of the show. I'm joined today by my special guest host, Will Hooley from San Diego Legion and USA Rugby.
Thank you very much for having me. My accent doesn't sound like I'm from the USA, but we'll come on to that. That's great to be here. Thank you very much.
I'm so excited. First of all, you and I had been talking about co-hosting the show a year ago. Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember it well. Yeah, I'm glad it's finally come to fruition.
And it only took us a year, but we're really, really excited about this. You guys kick off your new season, which is February 18th. Can you just not wait to get back on the field?
It's been a while, put it that way. We kind of go for 6 months, then we have 6 months off, and now we're back. So 18th of February, new stadium, new season, very excited.
Well, and if you guys didn't know, San Diego Legion was formed in 2017. It's San Diego's very own professional rugby team and part of Major League Rugby. So I want to jump into a lot of things about rugby because I'm obsessed with all the terms and I want the viewers to know a little bit more about it. But before we get into that, I want to know about your story because you've been playing since you were 5.
Correct, yeah, 5 years old. That's when my dad took me down to the local rugby club. And I think it was an excuse for him to frankly go and see his mates. But brought me along. I remember I was in soccer kit. I was in Liverpool Football Club kit on my first day. And I just ended up loving it. It was a muddy day back in England, in Cambridge. And I've never looked back since, really.
Well, and the thing is too, let's talk about your career because since 2012 you've been professional, playing for what, Northampton Saints, Exeter Chiefs,
yes,
right?
Yeah, I finished school at the age of 18. I then went straight into my first professional contract, which was at Northampton. I had been associated with that club from about the age of 12. So it was an absolute dream to kind of go all the way up the ranks into then the first team, into the professional world of rugby. And my journey has been a roller coaster with some pretty cool things along the way. And here I am in California, I can't really believe it, playing professional rugby in the USA.
Do kids aspire to be rugby players? Is it big, would you say, there?
Yeah, I would say in the UK, rugby is deemed as one of the top sort of 3 or 4 sports.
Okay.
I know over here in the US it's growing, which is so exciting. It's one of the reasons I came here was to help it kind of grow. But yeah, it's definitely, when you're at school, yes, you want to be maybe a footballer. I never really wanted to be, I say footballer, soccer player.
Soccer, right.
Yeah, I have to get my terminology right on that. But yeah, for me it was really sort of a boyhood dream to play at the highest level professionally. To say that I've done that is pretty cool, and I am doing that. Getting a bit older now, the body's taken a bit of a wearing and tearing.
He's 29.
Well, 29, young maybe, young for the outside world, but in my world, I turned 30 this year, and I know I'm feeling it. Put it that way in the sport that I play.
Wait till you get to my age. I'm not going to tell you that. So, but you also had an American grandmother, right? And that was one of the reasons that you came here to play?
Correct, yes. So earlier what you said, so I play internationally for the USA, incredibly privileged and honoured. It's my dad's side of the family, so my grandmother was born and raised in Los Angeles. I first got the honour to play international rugby, which is the highest peak you can do in the sport.
Wow.
For the USA in 2018.
That was the World Cup?
No, that was the following year. So
okay.
my first appearance was 2018, and the following year was the World Cup in Japan, 2019. So,
wow.
Yeah, I feel very honoured, very blessed.
Not so bad for a career. Pretty good stuff.
Not bad, not bad. You always want more, and I've never felt that I've maybe got the best out of myself, but maybe that's the athlete within me, always wanting perfection.
I love that. Well, okay, so I want to talk about your position. It's
Yes.
fly half, number 10, or sometimes full back, number 15.
Correct.
let's talk about this because I want to learn more, and I'm sure the viewers want to learn more about rugby. So talk to us about your position.
Right, so I'll try and give it as a comparison to sports that maybe viewers will know. So obviously in football, American football, you have the quarterback. He's kind of the playmaker role. A lot of the things go around him. So the number 10 position in rugby, the fly half, is a lot of things go around that position. So I'm passing the ball, I'm kicking the ball, and looking to feed the runners, whether they be the big guys, which are known as the forwards, or the backs, which are the quick, sort of speedy guys outside me. And then equally, the other position, which is 15, is a bit, we have numerous roles. So you're also a playmaker, but you're also like a kick returner. So again, giving it that sort of football wording. It's, I try and stay out of trouble. So I try and keep my face clean as much as possible. I've done an all right job at that. I'm sure my wife may tell me different, but
I don't see anything going on with the
no,
face.
No. Luckily, hopefully the camera's not too zoomed in. So, but yeah, it's there's piano players and piano pushers in rugby, and I'm probably I like to think more of a piano player. If that makes sense.
Okay, that makes sense. So there's a big misconception, I think, about rugby, and you and I talked about this on the phone a little bit. So a lot of times people think it's very barbaric, right? It's just a bunch of guys running around and kind of tackling each other. But it's not. It's really a mental game.
It is. There's a lot of tactical elements. I mean, actually in the UK, there's an infamous saying about rugby in that it's a thug sport played by gentlemen.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so it looks very, aggressive. It's contact elements in it, which is all part of rugby. That we put our bodies on the line to a degree. But yeah, there's a lot of technical aspects and tactical aspects to it. So in a rugby game, there is literally a whole variety of things you can do, from passing a ball, kicking a ball, running with the ball, different set pieces. So how the game restarts can vary, but it's very fluid. So although it is contact and quite aggressive, there's different positions for different types of players as well. I know football, some of the teams in the NFL have looked at rugby as to how they tackle, because it's deemed probably safer than sometimes in the NFL. So there you go. There you go.
Okay, so I want to talk about some of the terminology.
Yeah.
Because this is mind-boggling to me. I'm still trying to learn all this, but it's very cool. So you've got a try, right?
Correct.
Which is a touchdown. Kind of?
To a degree.
Okay.
Yeah. Should we start on that?
Yeah.
Okay. So a try. Where did the word try come from? Well, I don't really know completely, but ultimately, as a team, you are trying to score points.
Oh.
So which is ironic because you're trying. Well, what about if you are successful? Well, you've done the trying.
Right.
But anyway, a try is similar to a touchdown, but unlike a touchdown where you just have to get into the end zone, we have to put the ball down in the end zone. We actually have to physically put the ball on the floor in that end zone.
Okay.
That is a try. That is 5 points.
Wow.
And there's not one extra point for the kicker. So it's 5 points for the try and it's 2 extra points. So the kicker gets it through the big H and he can have to do it wherever it's scored. So if it's scored on the sideline, the kick has to be taken from the sideline. It can't be brought back in straight in front of the uprights or the posts. So that makes it a bit harder. So therefore it's 2 points rather than 1 point.
Wow, we're learning so much. I love this.
There you go.
Okay, so the scrum, short for the scrummage.
Yes, okay. So the scrum is something I stay away from.
Okay.
Because that's not my position. So it's 8 people, 8 big guys, and also girls. Girls also, I should very much say, play this sport at the highest level, professionally around the world as well. 8 people against 8 people, and it's a way of resetting the game. So let's say there's been a stoppage because something has happened, then it's a way of resetting the game. The ball goes in the middle of this scrum, and it's a pushing contest.
Oh my
Whoever
gosh.
can push the other team off the ball, that then gets it back to their side, and then the play goes on.
Wow, okay. And then, now this one I think I really like, the maul.
Right.
Is this where they lift the player up?
Correct. So there is something called the line out.
Okay.
So the line out is another way of resetting the game. So if the ball goes out of out into touch. So if I again use football as the analogy, if the kicker kicks it off the field, then where that ball has gone off the field, a line out happens. So a ball is chucked in again to the 8 players. Sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 5. But ultimately, the aim of the game for a line-out is to get the ball back to your team in the air. And a maul, just follow me on this.
Okay.
If they bring it down from the line-out, it's again another pushing contest where players are pushing against each other to try and get the ball, to try and gain momentum. So a little bit confusing, but I think when you watch it, you'll appreciate just how pretty awesome it is and powerful it is.
I just want to do that. Can I just come out on the field and have you guys look?
Cindy, I think we might have to book an appointment in the hospital after.
Okay.
Pre-book it. So yeah, I'm not sure you survive very well. Sorry.
I know, I probably wouldn't. So we talked about this a little bit earlier. You had an injury. So let's talk a little bit about that. You've been doing rehab and you are back.
Yes, yeah. Look, injury's all part of the game, unfortunately.
Yes.
It's a contact sport. Being a professional, I get very good care, so I'm very lucky. So the injuries which maybe might happen to, I say a normal person, that's been insulting, but might take longer than injuries. So I dislocated my shoulder and I took off a ligament and I also broke part of my shoulder bone.
Wow.
So yeah, it was pretty full on, but I've had some unbelievable care at San Diego Legion. I must shout out to Synergy Medical Group, who actually just crossed the road from here. They were amazing. They are professionals with sports people. So it's been a good few months or so, and then slowly getting my confidence back. But I feel good and I feel healthy and hopefully ready to get out there.
Well, what would you say, what's your favorite thing about playing rugby? What do you love the most?
I just think it's a game whereby there's so many different things you can do in the game. And what I mean by that is, yes, it's contact and it can be aggressive, but then there's a lot of skill involved through your hands, through your feet, through your brain. You're working with 14 other guys on the pitch. And I think the camaraderie in rugby is something which is, I don't think I've seen, and I've been involved in and seen, I've got friends in different sports. I don't think that same team bond is maybe biased to say it, but in other sports, because you're putting your body on the line for the person next to you, your teammate, your friend, your brother, whatever you want to call it. And I do believe that camaraderie, maybe because the game is physical, I do think is pretty unique to rugby.
I love that. So, okay, so I got to talk about the new stadium because we are so excited. So you guys are going to be at the new stadium, which is Snapdragon, you guys.
Correct.
Amazing. Yeah. What do you think about this new place?
It's awesome. I mean, if we want to just put it bluntly, so I've had the great honor that I've been to Snapdragon a few times now. I actually watched the San Diego Wave, the women's soccer teams. Do check them out as well. They're brilliant. They had a great season last season. And I went to their home opener. I think there was something like 32,000 people there.
Wow.
I don't know whether we'll get 32,000, but if people are watching, buy tickets, maybe we can get up there. It really is, yeah, I think one of a kind.
Well, and your coach said it's like the best rugby stadium in the USA.
I would put it up there as maybe one of the best in the world, and I can vouch to say that. It's honestly, I just think the atmosphere it will generate, and it's in California. The sun's out.
Amazing.
It's made for the sun. Yeah.
And you guys have 8 home games this year.
Yes.
And then you were telling us earlier, it's till July, right? The season goes until July.
Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully. So again, similar format to the NFL. We have the Western Conference, the Eastern Conference. You play your Western Conference home and away, but then you also have a game, at least one. It might be home, it might be away against the Eastern Conference.
Okay.
That makes 16 games. And then whoever is the top of those Western Conference and the Eastern Conference, then we meet in conference playoffs and then the national playoff final, which is in July.
Wow. Yay, you guys can do it, you can do it. So do you guys have any rituals? I love it. I played team sports. I mean, obviously I didn't play professional, but I played field hockey when I was in college. So I do love the team, the camaraderie.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any rituals that you do before you go on to the field?
No, everyone's an individual, so I can't speak for everyone.
Okay.
Obviously, there's elements of our warm-ups are very similar each time. So half an hour before, 45 minutes before kickoff, we will do kind of the same warm-up. Physically get yourself ready, mentally get yourself ready, get your body stretched and whatever. But people, honestly, I've played with some guys who have very interesting theories. One right sock has to go on before the left. They have to go to the bathroom 3 times before They eventually go out to play.
Wow.
I've seen, lucky pairs of pants be
Lucky
worn.
underwear.
Lucky underwear, sorry. Lucky underwear, that's my English coming in there. Well picked up. It can be each their own. I try, as I've got older, I try and stay away from too much sort of, otherwise, what about one day your lucky pair of underwear was in the wash?
Then it's mental, right?
Then
it gets in your head.
Yeah. So, it's each their own.
Welcome back to The Pulse. I'm your host, Cindy Matalucci. If you guys are just tuning in, I have a special co-host. I have Will Hooley from San Diego Legion. How are you?
Very good to be here, Cindy. Thank you.
So excited for you to be co-hosting today. We're both kicking off our new season, and you guys are kicking your season off February 18th
Correct.
at Snapdragon Stadium.
Yep, the hot place to be in San Diego. You got to be there.
The place to be. So, okay, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit.
Okay.
So you live in Carlsbad with your beautiful wife, Molly.
Correct, yes.
You guys have been married for how long?
Oh, we'll be coming up for 2 years.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I love that. And you've been here for 2 years.
More or less, yeah. So we got married and we pretty much, a few months later, jumped on a plane and here we are.
How is it transitioning from the UK to being here in America, in San Diego, California?
I'm not going to say it was hard because living in California it's not hard. Other than financially, it might be a bit hard, but honestly, we love it. Love it. Love Carlsbad, love San Diego County. Feel very blessed to be here. And when the weather is shining, which most of the time it is.
It is, we're spoiled.
We are very spoiled.
Yeah. So what do you love to do in Carlsbad for the viewers? Is there any spots that you guys love to go to or something you could recommend?
Right, so very fortunately, because as a professional rugby player and my wife can't work at the moment, we do have time to investigate, and we're quite snobbish with our coffee. Or maybe I'm more snobbish with my coffee than my wife is. There are some fantastic coffee spots in Carlsbad area. Number one has to be Steady State Roasters. I really recommend trying them out.
Because we love coffee too, so.
Oh, right. Well then, literally in North County, there are so many little areas or shops. Lofty
Okay.
Coffee is another one, which I know runs all the way through down into San Diego. They're on State Street in Carlsbad. If you move into Oceanside as well, even a little bit further on, there is Revolution Coffee Roasters, there's Communal Coffee Roasters. I'm a sucker for a very well done, well made flat white. Oh, sorry, latte actually. Latte. Yeah.
So how does it compare to the UK, the coffee, would you say?
Well, so I've always been kind of in and around London, and there are also some very good independent coffee shops. But I've got to say, I think California is the place to be for your coffee.
Hear that, I love that.
Yeah, some people disagree, but I'm really enjoying it.
Okay, so if we were to go to the UK, what would we need to do? What's a must? Because I'm planning on traveling, and I'm sure a lot of the viewers want to know.
Right. London. I mean, you've got to start there.
Okay.
The capital city, it's really sort of a mix of history, culture, entertainment, you name it. The River Thames that runs its way through. You can go different times of the year as well, so obviously Christmas is incredibly festive.
Right, but cold.
Cold, yes, it is, but that makes it festive, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It absolutely baffles me. I had an amazing Christmas here in California. The family came over to California.
You can go to the beach in Christmas.
That
here.
was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, it almost felt non-festive.
Right.
For me, it should be cold, there might be a bit of snow, and you've got to be wrapped up. But anyway, yeah, so then even the summer is a great time of year. London has, from Buckingham Palace to the Tower of London, history it runs hundreds and thousands of years, way before the USA was created. So yeah, I would say go there and enjoy just the British culture.
Okay, I love it. I'm going to hit you up before I go over there.
Yes.
So you guys, immersive installations and exhibits are all the rage right now. Have you been to any immersive things?
Immersive things?
Yes.
Remind me what that kind of word should mean.
Okay, so just recently we had a chance to check out the WNDER Museum, which is in the Gaslamp, which is a multi-sensory showcase of art and technology. So it's almost like you're stepping into the artwork.
Awesome. Sounds very creative.
Yeah, you'll have to check this out. So you guys, we went firsthand to the opening, so we're going to show you a clip of what we experienced. Here you go. You guys, the Wonder Museum is opening in the gaslamp, and we're going to go inside.
You and me together, we could be anything, anything. You and me together, we could be anything, anything. I can take your pain away from you, from you. I can take it, I can take it, I can take your pain away from you, from you.
For more information on the Wonder Museum, go to wondermuseum.com.
And you guys have to check it out because it is fabulous. We loved it. Very Instagrammable, by the way. Okay, so I'm going to change gears a little bit, something that I'm very excited about to talk to you about. The viewers don't know this about you, but you have a journalism background.
I do. So rugby's brilliant and I've earned a living and I'm very, as I say, blessed for that. But there is time in there you can also look at other things to build your profile. And I decided over the years to get into sort of writing, journalism and broadcasting. It's certainly something I want to maybe transition into after playing.
Wow.
So yeah, trying to put my best foot forward.
Well, and freelance writer for The Guardian, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've been doing work for them probably since 2019.
Okay.
Really enjoy that. Write obviously predominantly on rugby, but then I've written for various publications, done other media, which I'm sure we might touch on, digital, radio, podcasts,
Well,
TV.
that's what I was going to ask you about, the Next Game, the Story of Transition podcast. How did you come up with this?
So it was in COVID time actually, so sort of around that 2020, 2021. Obviously for sport around the world, we kind of came to a bit of a stop, which was really strange. It actually made me realise that sport's not that important in the world. Feels like we are, and I know everyone loves it and it's very entertaining, but really you realise it's not forever. And I think as a player as well, you realise with our careers, if you get to my age, which is, you know, touching on 30, over 30, you've done very well. But you're going to have to do another career. I know probably people in the military who also sort of find similar things as well. So I really was at that point trying to investigate myself, well, the people who have done the transition, what have they done? So they've been a rugby player, they've gone into banking, they then have gone into broadcasting, gone into teaching, gone into be a lawyer, gone into be a doctor. And it just got me interested to speak to these people. And I thought, well, you know what? I love broadcasting. Why not create a podcast? I got a great sponsor on board and kind of went from there. It's just a first series of 8 episodes, potentially looking to do another series relatively soon. I really enjoy hearing sort of those stories of how to make career transitions. And I'm sure for viewers at home in their own worlds, people have career transitions in their own lives.
Well, and that's available on all podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, right? So
Yeah.
people can check that out. That's amazing. So what would be your dream job?
Ooh. Well, I've done my dream job, which is being a professional athlete. I really like the media space and I'm very open to where that takes me. I'd love to be a presenter. I think I love bringing out narrative, understanding stories and getting it across to viewers. Hopefully I can speak okay, all right. And yeah, within sports media would be pretty awesome. So if there's any opportunities out there.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first.
So what I love about you too is that you give back, right? So you're involved in a charity, Loose Heads. So we have to talk about this because I think this is so important, especially when you're talking about mental health.
Yeah, you're correct. I mean, it's something which, again, as an athlete, people only see you at the weekend and think, oh, well, he's having the best time or she's having the best time. She gets to do what she loves. There's a lot of highs, brilliant, the highest highs, but there's also a lot of lows. Injury, lack of performance. That's just in the sport. But obviously, everyone out there deals with their own challenges. And it really got me thinking as to, well, if I have any kind of platform, anything I can get into to help, then I would do. And there was a particular story back in 2021 now, early 2021, I lost an old coach of mine when I was younger. He took his own life. And that for me hit hard, as it would do for anyone. And it just made me realize, if there's anything I can do in my sport, my name behind it, and be part of an organization that can help spread the awareness, and Loose Heads was this charity that is involved in rugby, then I want to help.
So they have partnered with Major League Rugby. So they're going to have people all around the world, right? In this organization.
Yeah, so Loose Heads basically is mental health awareness charity that looks to be part of any rugby club in the world. And it looks to try and put a person with hopefully sort of mental health awareness background, so I've got a mental health first aid course background.
Oh, wow.
So that there's someone that in your community, rugby community, you can go to that person to talk to them. If you do have problems, they then can seek the advice, the maybe expertise needed to help that person out, so that you're not alone. You know, I always believe, and I know my wife knows this, that a problem shared is a problem halved.
Well, it has been such a pleasure to have you today.
It's been fantastic.
Will you promise that you'll come back?
I will, yeah. It's been a year since we last spoke in terms of doing this, but no, I definitely will come back. Thank you for having me.
We love it. And tell everybody where to find you before we go.
Oh,
Where do they follow you?
Shameless plug. I'm not very good at these. So yeah, I'm on Twitter at Will_Hooley. I'm on Instagram at Wooley, which is W Hooley, all one word. I'm on LinkedIn as well, Will Hooley, and I've got a website, so my media stuff on, which is willhooleysports.com.
We love that, you guys, and get your tickets, sdlegion.com. We are going to be there. We're so excited. Good luck on your new season.
Thank you very much.
Kick some, you know what?
I hope to see you there.
I'll be there. I'm going to do them all. You just wait.
You're going to do more? Come to practice, see what happens.
I will. Well, thank you guys. We'll see you next time when we put our finger on the pulse of San Diego. Bye.